On December 5, 1872, the Mary Celeste was discovered abandoned and floating off the coast of the Azores Islands. This ship is arguably the most well-known ghost ship of all time. The crew's decision to leave the ship is unknown. The ship was carrying 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol. The crew included 8 crew members as well as her captain Benjamin S. Briggs, his wife Sarah, and their 2-year-old daughter Sophia. After setting sail, the crew would never be heard from again. Here is how the story goes. In the early afternoon on December 5, 1872, the ship Day Gracia spotted a ship drifting in the distance. The crew alerted the captain, David Morehouse, from his living quarters. Once on deck, he looked through his spyglass and spotted a lone ship drifting towards them. Being an experienced captain, he noticed that something wasn't quite right as it was moving unsteadily and the sails were partially set. He tried to get in contact with the vessel by using black signal flags, but with no success. As they drifted closer, Morehouse spotted through his spyglass the ship's name painted on the side. The Mary Celeste. Being familiar with the ship and having dinner with Captain Briggs not long before their ship set sail. Concerned, he ordered 2 men to row to the ship to investigate. As the sailors approached the Mary Celeste, they indeed confirmed that the sails were poorly set and the rigging was damaged, probably from rough weather. When the crew boarded, they noticed an ominous silence that creeped throughout the ship. There was no sign of life. They searched the ship up and down and only found a few abnormal things other than the missing crew. These oddities included minor flooding in the ship's hold, broken glass where the compass that had been removed, 9 empty alcohol barrels, and the ship's only lifeboat missing. Other than that, the ship seemed untouched and sailworthy. After the search concluded, they reported back to Captain Morehouse about their findings. Puzzled, Morehouse decided to split his crew and sailed the Mary Celeste about 800 miles to Gibraltar. After a lengthy investigation and no answer to what happened to the crew, Morehouse collected compensation from the insurance policy. After the Mary Celeste set sail from New York City on November 7th, it did battle treacherous seas and weather for 2 weeks, yet the last known log entry from Captain Briggs was logged on November 25th. At the time, the ship seemed to have no issues. There have been countless theories about what happened to the crew on the Mary Celeste. Some of the theories are just downright ludicrous, such as the ship being attacked by a sea creature or a giant octopus, but here are some realistic theories. One theory suggests the ship's cargo played a role in the disappearance. The Mary Celeste was carrying over 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol, and some suggest that the alcohol was emitting highly potent fumes and the crew feared of an explosion, so they evacuated into the lifeboat. Why didn't they go back? Did the ocean swells drift them away from the main ship? We will never know. Another theory is that pirates may have caused the disappearance of the ship's crew. But that theory has faded throughout the years because only 9 of the ship's 1,700 barrels of alcohol were empty upon the discovery of the Mary Celeste. Plus, the crew's belongings and valuables were still on board. Pirates would have scavenged all of what they could. A third theory is that the slight flooding the ship endured was overestimated by Captain Briggs and in fear that the ship may sink, forced everybody to evacuate. But this doesn't stand well with a lot of people because Briggs was an experienced captain and would have known that the water in the hold was not an issue and the ship was still sailworthy until the closest stop. So, what happened to the crew on the Mary Celeste? We will probably never know and more theories will continue to make their rounds. Please comment below on what you think happened.